You can't rewind the past no matter how much you wish you could. For some artists, the end comes with applause. For others, with silence. For David Gilmour, silence wasn't peace. It was the sound of a war still echoing inside him. Pink Floyd wasn't just a rock band. It was a universe built from genius, ego, beauty, and control all at once. Their music reshaped the way people felt. But behind every breathtaking solo and every haunting lyric was a battle, a quiet one, about who truly owned the dream. The wall they built on stage eventually became the wall between them. This isn't a story about fame. It's a story about creation, pride, and the price of legacy, about two men whose brilliance couldn't exist without conflict. This is the untold truth of how David Gilmour fought to keep Pink Floyd alive. The new voice in the chaos. When David Gilmour joined Pink Floyd in late 1967, the band was already breaking apart. Syd Barrett, the band's original creative spark, was slipping away, his mind fading, his performances unpredictable. Gilmour didn't come to replace him. He came to save what was left. With his calm precision and soulful touch, Gilmour became the steady hand the band desperately needed. His guitar wasn't loud, it was emotional, patient, deliberate. Nick Mason once said Gilmour brought discipline without killing creativity. And that became Pink Floyd's anchor. While Barrett drifted into myth, Gilmour quietly rebuilt the dream. His solos weren't just notes, they were emotions stretched through time. And that new sound, grounded yet celestial, became the foundation for everything Pink Floyd would become. Sound and control. The clash of two minds by the early 70s, Gilmour and Roger Waters were both at their creative peaks. And on a collision course. Metal and the Dark Side of the Moon weren't just albums. They were emotional blueprints. Waters gave the concepts meaning, Gilmour gave them life. Their chemistry was magic and toxic. Waters obsessed over structure, words, and message. Gilmour focused on mood, tone, and melody. Together they made perfection, but each believed they were the one holding the band together. When Dark Side of the Moon finally dropped, it didn't just change rock, it redefined it. The album was mathematical yet human, emotional yet precise. But the success only made the question louder, who was truly leading Pink Floyd? The wall that divided everything. The wall was Roger Waters' brainchild, but it was David Gilmour's soul that made it breathe. Every note of Comfortably Numb felt like a man trying to break through a barrier that had grown too high. By then, Waters had taken control. The sessions were cold, mechanical, and silent. They barely spoke, but through the music, they still understood each other. Waters wrote about alienation. Gilmour made you feel it. His solos weren't just guitar parts, they were emotional lifelines. During one late-night recording, producer James Guthrie said Gilmour played like he was trying to tear the wall down himself. The results were breathtaking, but the price was the band's unity. When the tour ended, the metaphor had become real. The wall wasn't just on stage anymore. It was between them. The courtroom showdown by 1985. Pink Floyd was finished, at least according to Roger Waters. He left, declaring the band dead. But Gilmour wasn't ready to let go. When he released A Momentary Lapse of Reason, it was more than an album. It was a statement. Pink Floyd will outlive this fight. Waters sued, trying to stop Gilmour from using the name. Gilmour countered, saying Pink Floyd was bigger than one man. It was a legacy, a sound that belonged to the world. The court agreed. Gilmour won the rights, but the victory came with weight. He later said, "I just didn't want to see it all vanish because of ego." So he rebuilt quietly, patiently, just as he always had, echoes of forgiveness. By the time the Division bell came in 1994, the war had cooled. The album didn't scream. It breathed. Gilmour's voice carried wisdom now, not anger. Songs like High Hopes and Coming Back to Life felt like reflections from a man finally at peace with the past. Engineer Andy Jackson once said, Gilmour didn't speak much in the studio. He let the guitar do the talking. Every solo felt like a letter to the past, filled with both regret and love. The album's title said it all. The Division Bell. Yes, it was about distance, but also about connection. Bells don't divide, they call us back. When the endless river arrived years later, it was Gilmour's final farewell to that shared history. A sound of closure, not bitterness, the final performance, and then came Live 8, 2005. 4 songs. One last moment of peace. When the band walked on stage, decades of tension seemed to disappear under the lights. For 20 minutes, Pink Floyd was whole again. During Wish You Were Here, Gilmour and Waters exchanged one brief look. Not friendly, not cold, just understanding. It was the silent forgiveness of two men who had once built a universe together. No speeches followed, no tears, just a handshake, awkward, real, final. After that night, they went their separate ways. But they didn't need another reunion. That one performance was enough. It proved something simple yet powerful, even divided. Pink Floyd's spirit remained untouchable, the legacy that outlasted the war in the end. David Gilmour's story isn't about conflict, it's about preservation, about a man who refused to let silence erase meaning. His guitar became memory itself, carrying emotions words couldn't mend. Pink Floyd wasn't just a band. It was humanity in sound, intellect and emotion, control and surrender, chaos and peace. Through it all, Gilmour's tone held the fragments together, not through power, but through grace. Time has softened the anger, but the music still lingers. Vast, timeless, eternal. Because some walls aren't meant to fall, they're meant to echo. If this story moved you, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Legend Uncovered for more stories behind rock's most powerful legacies.